Blood moon alert, Aquarius. The blood moon occurs on the 27th of September, if you're using Eastern Daylight Time. For Greenwich Mean Time, it's the 28th of September. We're giving you both of those because it's an important day. Again, it's a blood moon. It's a total lunar eclipse. It's the fourth blood moon in the tetrad. And this full moon is occurring in the sign of Aries the Ram. So the blood moon in the sign of Aries the Ram. So it's an important day because there's a lot of spiritual and religious and cultural systems that are having holy days simultaneously. So it's very important. Plus, there's a lot going on with CERN. We're going to put a little bit of information about CERN into the money portion of this transmission. Also, on the 13th of September, there's a new moon in Virgo, and there's a partial solar eclipse on that day as well. And as if that was not enough, in September, on the 23rd, there's the autumn equinox, when the sun will move from Virgo and ingress into the sign of Libra, the scales. That's on the 23rd of September. So again, this is a big month. There's a lot going on, a lot of energy, and the fact that the blood moon's in Aries is intense. Your ruling planet of Saturn is going to ingress into the sign of Sagittarius on the 17th. It's direct now, and it's been direct in Scorpio, but it's going to go into Sagittarius. It will remain direct on the 17th. That's Saturn. And Uranus, the other planet that has influence over you, is currently retrograde in Aries, and with this blood moon in Aries, you see how you're going to be affected, Aquarius. So we're going to go over that. Now, let's see how your ruling planets of Saturn and Uranus affect you this month. Aquarius, I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. This is an angelic horoscope transmission from the mighty divine physician, the mighty archangel Raphael, who resides over all the air signs in the zodiac, and your specific Aquarius angel Cambriel, who resides over your fixed air nature. And these are his messages for you in love, money, and health. Now, before we get into the love part of Cambriel's transmission, the angelic transmission, we want to give you a little Kabbalistic, a Rosicrucian Kabbalistic planetary formula that we're going to give you, and then we're going to solve the little formula at the end when we do our afterglow and give you our highlights for the planetary aspects and the facets we think are important for you. We'll put that at the end. But this is the one we're going to utilize. It's on the 25th. Mars in Virgo is square Saturn in Sagittarius. So again, we'll put that at the end, and we'll solve that little planetary astrological equation at the end. So stay tuned for that. All right, now to get to the love part of this transmission from Cambriel and the divine physician Raphael. You're going to have a lot of suitors this month, Aquarius. What you might find is that your tendency to conquer your love interests, or even your friends, or even family members, might get in the way of you feeling that you have friends, or feeling that your family members are dedicated to you, or feeling that your spouse or romantic interests are dedicated or interested. You may feel that people aren't interested. And it's not that they're not interested in being your friend, or having a romantic relationship, or having an important family tie with you. What if they're in your family? What it is it's the fact that you easily conquer people in your life. You easily are able to get one up on them. And that, of course, makes you feel good, and you want to be the light. But it doesn't allow other people to give. Because if you have no area of need in you, and you can't show other people where they have value, then if you always just want to shine the light and have everybody else be darkness, that doesn't make them feel good. And so you need to allow a place in yourself where you can allow them to shine their light and allow them to give and allow them to feel valuable and allow them to feel they've conquered you. Even if it's just in some small way, and it doesn't have to be always, it can just be, certain events or something to that effect. Because basically, if you're always conquering people, you can't really have relationships. Not relationships where you actually feel you're involved with people. So it's not that you're not lovable. It's that you conquer people so easily they just stay away. Or they feel they have to fight very hard. Because of the domination that is easy for you and the intellectual prowess that you have. And it might make other people feel intimidated. So just approach people with a little more value for what they are and for just find the value in others rather than approaching others by telling them what's wrong with them. Approach others by telling them what's good about them. And of course, yes, that will make them feel good. And yes, they will have value. And yes, you will have to be receptive. But that's the price you pay if you want to be in relationships with people where there's more give and take and not where you're just wiping everybody out so that they have nothing and you have everything when it comes to these relationships. Because again, it's not that the other people need that so much. It's more that you will feel connected to them if you allow them to give. And this may seem a bit heavy, but this is something that may become more, it will become more obvious to you in September. And it's a place where you can have a very good uptick in your relationships if you understand this. Because of what's going on with Mars and Uranus and Saturn, people may feel confrontational, like they're going to tell you what to do. And it's easy for you to just to just kind of brush it off. However, some people are going to get angry. Some won't. Some are easygoing, but some are going to get angry and they're going to come at you and want to force you to do what they want you to do. And then if you do that, you might find that then they don't want you. And that's because they will have a desire to, it might be a sort of a retribution where they feel you did something to them, now they're going to do something to you. Now there's other people who don't feel the need for retribution or revenge in that manner, or that kind of volley of, you got one up on me, now I'm going to get one up on you. There's some people who are more easygoing than that, and those are the people that you want to establish these kind of give and take relationships with beginning in September, and that'll carry out throughout the remainder of 2015. So those will be important factors for you to look at. Now to get into your money aspect and Cambriel and Raphael's information for you at this point, better opportunities and better people to get into situations that have to do with your work or your business, or your investments, your workaday world, your bosses, your employees, employers, people you work with, your coworkers, people that you're invested in or companies you're invested in, anything you're doing with your home and your properties, those kinds of and types of things are going to improve. So this September will be, you'll feel like you're getting somewhere, and it'll be easier to deal with people again because of the things we've just talked about. Because again, money is about our relationships with other people. So as you begin to feel more comfortable with your relationships with other people, after some of the difficult planetary and astrological aspects that were going on, as you begin to feel better about some of these, this will affect your financial life. Now we are in the age of Aquarius, and as you know, Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, but it's also ruled by Uranus. So we're going to get into a little bit of information about CERN. And there's a lot of people on the internet that are giving information about this. People are saying that this has to do with the planet Saturn and the god Cernunnos, and the planet Saturn, that CERN is opening a portal to Saturn. That makes sense. And also, in Saturnian cults, they teach that the planet Uranus, which rules you, Aquarius, is a progenitor of the planet Saturn, which rules you. And the planet Saturn, they say, is the progenitor of the Earth, and that the Sun stole the Earth, or took the Earth by its gravitational pull, that the Sun stole the Earth from Saturn, the original bringer of light to the Earth was Saturn. So, and of course, it's a different type of light, and there was just perhaps the corona of the Sun around Saturn if it was closer, but nonetheless, this is what the Saturnian cults teach. So, reopening this portal to Saturn will also reopen other portals, and not only will people's ability to remote view and remote hear become peaked, but also, and more amplified, but also the paranormal activities, the remote influencing, and the ability for beings from other dimensions, angels, going up Jacob's ladder and down Jacob's ladder, which is our DNA, will be able to come through and be more in your face. And the veil will be lifted at the great marriage supper of the Lamb. The great veil will be lifted from the bride, which is the Kabbalah, which is the marriage of science and spirituality, which religion tried to do, and now kind of hands off the baton to Kabbalah, because people have become so scientifically sophisticated that religion seems quaint and traditional, but not really worth much. But in reality, once you study Kabbalah, then it all makes sense, and it becomes the marriage of spirit and science, and then both have a place. And each culture and each religion has to be tamed and homogenized by social media, but everybody can have their religion, and everybody can have their tradition and their culture, but it has to all be more homogenized in sort of a global world. It's sort of, let's globally unite to fight the globalist type of thing. The world's going to unite no matter what you do, because now we have to deal with other dimensions, interdimensional beings, other civilizations, and civilizations that are very far advanced. Some of them are not as advanced, some of them are more advanced. And of course, there's a lot of toying going on with genetics. Genetics is being monkeyed with a lot, and that is because that's Jacob's ladder, where the angelic beings above and below travel up and down on the DNA. So it's an intense time. And CERN is, of course, breaking things down, but CERN is also giving us the ability to put things back together, because we already split the atom long ago. Now we're splitting, into subatomic particles, splitting those apart. However, now we're able to build. So someday they'll be able to print out internal organs, so you don't have to chop internal organs out of one being, put it in another. You understand? We'll think that what we're doing now is barbaric by the time we get to what science has to offer. So a lot going on with this type of thing. And there are already laws written to handle all of this. It's already been written. The ethics involved in all this. And now we just have to proceed. And what actually is revealed when the veil is lifted, it's a revelation of evil. Of just how evil human beings truly are. And once we understand how evil each of us is, and we take responsibility for our own evil, which is the will to receive for the sake of the self, then we proceed to share. And then we find our way home. But first we have to be all the way into understanding the revelation of evil. It's part of double concealment. Again, how many veils do we have? But we'll be able to see that death is indeed a transformation to another dimension. And that the people that we think are no longer with us, maybe they're not in this particular room or dimension, but they're in another. And they're just as alive, if not more so. And we'll be able to see them. That's the difference. Especially as we go through the remainder of 2015. All right, now this moves us very well timely into the health part of the transmission from Cambriel and Divine Physician Raphael. You will enjoy, Aquarius, better health, and you'll need to calm the 6th and the 7th chakras this month, and especially before the 17th. After the 17th, you'll notice that the first and the second chakra, chi, will need to be balanced. Now, of course, if you're having any kind of, you're going to want to eat light, and you're going to want to exercise light. You're going to want to keep things light. Go ahead and do everything. You're doing too much. Do all of it, but just do it all lightly. Everything's going to be more efficient now. But don't get so caught up in being so efficient that you don't have enough energy to sit back and enjoy the show of September of 2015. Because all of life will become more and more entertaining, obviously with all the technology that we're having at our fingertips. So you want to make sure you have enough energy to enjoy all the wonderful things you've done and all the gifts that God has given you. You want to enjoy them. So you want to make sure you have energy to do that. Of course, if you have any problems, go to your proper licensed physician. Okay, now we're going to get into the afterglow, the planetary aspects and the facets, the astrological aspects that we feel are important. I want to highlight for you this month. Saturn ingress Sagittarius on the 17th out of Scorpio, and right now Saturn's direct in Scorpio to go into Sagittarius on the 17th. The 23rd is the equinox. The Sun is sextile Saturn on that day. Uranus, the other planet that is one of your rulers, Uranus is retrograde currently in Aries. And remember, the blood moon's in Aries, this affects you, okay? People are going to get angry. Don't get into it. Just respond with your usual intelligence and serenity, and all will be well. Okay, on the 8th, Mars is trine Uranus, and on the 22nd, Venus is trine Uranus. But remember, Uranus is retrograde in Aries. Okay, now to get into this problem that we gave at the beginning, the planetary formula, Mars in Virgo square Saturn in Sagittarius. The answer we got for that is competitors prepare to fight, and they set up laws to govern what you are able to discern, and then meet their match in your perfectionism, the Linsgeburg. So what does that mean? What that means is there's a lot of laws being set up for the purpose of kind of to create a veil so that people can't really see what's going on with all the events that are going on in September. Maybe in a effort to protect people. Let's give people the benefit of the doubt that are in charge. I mean, they're trying to protect you. So, fine. But the fact that people want to know the truth so badly, and the Linsgeburg, which means towards severity, I want to know. And I'm going to see the truth no matter what. So basically, governmental agencies or religious agencies or just who's ever trying to run the show and put this veil over people's ability to see the truth, they meet their match in how severely and how warrior-like, soldier-like, common people will use efficiency and perfectionism and their own offensive techniques to see the truth and then espouse the truth. I don't know if I'm saying that right, or, to give the truth to others no matter what. That's what that means. That's a lot. It's a mouthful there, but that's a lot. And that's what's going to go on. So there might be kind of a clamp down on news agencies. So you're going to want to try to get your news from various different countries or different, something, you don't have to abandon where you get your normal everyday news from, or even if you get any. But you're going to want to pay attention a little bit if you don't want to miss the show. All right. Thank you, Aquarius. Thank you for joining us. This is your Angelic Horoscope transmission from the Divine Physician Raphael and your Aquarius Angel Combriel. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us, and join us again next month, Aquarius.